Hi guys, welcome or welcome back. Today I wanted to get you some information on this upcoming full moon in Capricorn. Sorry, I feel like there's already some information trying to come through. I don't really have a plan for what cards we're going to use or anything like that. The only thing I do know that we'll do at the end is I will do an oracle message. So if you guys want homework, you've got some stuff to work with. Yeah, we're just gonna see what comes through. So usually I go into these with like specific questions around the energy, and I just felt like sitting and shuffling. So let's see. What do we need to know for this upcoming full moon in Capricorn? Four of Pentacles with the Queen of Wands coming out. Oh, a devil on the bottom. Okay, this automatically feels like recognizing where we're getting in our own way. And I think kind of depending on how this moon finds you, kind of like, and what I mean by that is like how much preparation, how much you've been doing your practice, your work, whatever it may be. Like how much have you been on autopilot versus how much have you been present with yourself? Depending on that is really going to dictate your experience here, because I think that you're going to be showed where you're getting in your own way, where you've been holding yourself back. That's kind of what is feeling like is being revealed. And you're either going to feel empowered by this and like you have a direction and you know the path forward, or you might get like a little bit butthurt about this is kind of like what's coming through, honestly. So let me see. What else? Oh my God, the Tower. Okay, what's on the bottom of the deck now? With the Chariot. Yeah, you're going to be forced to take action. Your experience with this is very much going to depend on where you're at, what you're like, kind of what perspective of things you're coming from, what your beliefs are around these things that are going to be touched on. Again, this is a collective reading, so this is going to kind of light up for everybody a little bit differently, but it's going to feel really groundbreaking, earth-shattering, disruptive, regardless of which area of your life that is. And so the way that you are living your life, the way that you're going through your day-to-day is really going to dictate what your experience is with this. And then Three of Cups. Gratitude is key. Celebrating what is working, where you're focusing your energy. Oh my God, my nose tingles has been the confirmation for all of my readings that I've done today. It's crazy. Okay, let me see if I can get more information. Ooh. Temperance. Okay. Wow. Yeah, so I think that it's just kind of like what you make it. What is the moon bringing? Okay. Queen of Cups, so much cup energy. Two of Wands. Yeah, I think that for everyone, honestly, if I can speak generally, this is going to, right, we're always moving forward. I get so sick of hearing myself say that. But this is in the way of feeling in tune with ourselves again, feeling connected to ourselves on like a deep soul level. And because of that, being able to see the way forward and stepping through this portal or gateway even. And so, wow. Yeah. It's creating our own harmony, creating the life that we wish to live through a place of clarity that is being brought to us from the shakeup that is this energy. Five of Wands that came out in today's poll as well, and Princess of Cups on the bottom of the deck. For a lot of us, this is like releasing a creative, something we've been choosing to look away from or like turning a blind eye to. But it is something that is so deeply rooted in who you are at your core that it's like, how could you be ignoring that part of yourself? And once that is lit up, once you allow that sector to become lit up and allow that part of yourself to shine, everything else is going to feel so much easier. Because I think you're doing a lot of work in a lot of different areas, and that is giving you forward progress, and you've been ignoring this thing, almost looking at it as maybe a distraction or like something that's not worth your time because it is creative and it's something that maybe brings you joy. This could also just be your intuition in general. You're ignoring your intuition because you're trying to be very practical. Capricorn full moon is definitely gonna highlight that. It's just this beautiful balance that is being brought to us. And again, it's not going to be comfortable. For some of us, it's going to come through in the way of like judgment from others, or maybe not even judgment, but like lack of support or our expectations not being met by others. For some of us, it's going to come through moments of like, I cannot unsee this, I cannot unfeel this, I cannot experience this, and you just have to move on and you have to make your decisions accordingly. Okay, before I move on to some goddess cards, I want to just see if there's anything else that the tarot has for us to keep in our back pocket for this full moon in Capricorn. The Hermit with Two of Pentacles on the bottom of the deck. Yeah, so the way that you allow yourself to move forward feeling balanced and like knowing what to do is yourself, is going within, is connecting to that, the answers that only you have, and not putting so much weight in the external, but really connecting deeply. I think some people think that this full moon in Capricorn is going to be very straightforward, and I think in the way that it is going to, I said earlier, it feels kind of eclipsy to me in that it feels fated. It feels like whatever happens is happening because it's supposed to be happening exactly now. And I think that that is kind of the resistance that I think people are, the collective is feeling around it. And so I think with this, it's, can you work with that? Can you change your perspective to see that as something you can use to your advantage and move gracefully and be willing to not just change, because it doesn't feel like change as much as it means like actually showing up. Like, you know what you need to do. Are you willing to do it? You know the parts of yourself that I'm talking about. Are you going to allow yourself to accept that? Okay. This is a very, I feel like it feels a little heavy, but I think it also, to me, feels very promising. And so I want to make that very clear, because if we're talking about some big cards and some big energy here. Okay. Goddesses, what do we need to know for the full moon? What energy can we work with here? Maeve, Cycles and Rhythms. Damara, Guiding Children. Dana, High Priestess. I think that leading by example here, some of you may even be people who like work with tarot or divination on some level or have some sort of spiritual practice. I think really allowing yourself to work with this lunar energy, and also I'm getting kind of like practice what you preach. So for example, like if you're somebody like me who shares about divination, I'm gonna be divinationing. You know what I mean? Like, I'm going to be living in that energy, especially with this coming out with the High Priestess. It's like sharing and practicing and practicing and sharing what you learn. Like, don't hold back here if you've been wanting to share something, whether that's something that's on your heart. I think there's a lot more people watching you and learning from you than you give yourself credit for. 10:10 on the clock. Ooh. Yes, that came up in today's reading too. Oh my goodness. If you don't follow me on Instagram or Facebook, I post every single day there. I also try to upload them to my shorts, but I think it's easier to find things on Instagram and Facebook. But today's reading is also up on my shorts. So if you feel like you want to kind of compare notes with that, definitely check that out. But I think there's more people watching you than maybe you realize. And I say this because for some of you, that's a really good thing, in that like you are being an example. And for some of you, it doesn't necessarily feel like an evil eye as much as I think you need to maybe practice some energetic boundaries with this moon. Let me pull another goddess card and see. Okay, well, we just had 3 jump out. So we have true love, sorceress, medicine woman. Okay, yeah. This collective is pretty spiritually gifted, spiritually connected. Really tap into this, because like it's time to like take that part of yourself seriously if you're not. Right, earlier we were talking about ignoring parts of ourselves. If that's the part of yourself you're ignoring, I hate to tell you, but the longer you ignore it, the more intense and scary feeling that spiritual awakening can be the first time around. That's what I did. So if you have questions about anything like that, definitely just drop them in the comments. That's like my bread and butter. I'm very passionate about people stepping in, starting to dip a toe into that part of the journey, because it is life-changing in all of the best ways. And if you feel like you need tools to be able to protect yourself or feel safe and more secure, I'm totally get it. So anyway, I'm gonna start blabbering and let's pull our oracle card for the full moon in Capricorn. We get this card quite often on this channel, which I think is really interesting, because I don't necessarily feel like I pull this for my clients that much. I don't feel like I pull this for general daily pulls that often, but I feel like I pull this quite a bit on this channel. This is the Hold the Light card. Now, this card is about ancient memories, sensitive gifts, and remembering who you are. It is a very karmic and fated card, which has been the energy. Oh my god, thunder just cracked. I don't think you guys are going to be able to hear that with my mic, but so this card is also about maintaining kind of like authority over yourself and maintaining a high vibration, even though things might not be falling the way, like trusting, right? Trusting the patterns in the universe, trusting that you are here for a reason, and trusting yourself to explore and uncover and discover that. You have all of the tools within you. We got the Hermit card earlier. There's nothing for you to be afraid of, but I do understand that that is easier said than done. It can be a very scary process and very overwhelming. Let me find my book so I can give you the affirmations and the journal prompt for this. I used to just put them in the comments, but sometimes you guys would miss them or I would forget to put them in there. So let's see. Okay, hold the light. Also dreaming a new world. Okay. The affirmations for this message are: I am ready to surrender to new wisdom. So whatever that moon is going to be illuminating for us. I am returning. Again, we talked about going back to something we'd kind of like set aside. There is a possibility to dream that was once a reality. Hold on. Oh, there is a possibility of a dream that was once a reality. So again, that like returning to something that we once wanted to explore. And your journal prompts, if you would like to do them leading up to or for the full moon, are how can I celebrate my sensitive nature more? And how can I see the world around me from a higher perspective? Yes, okay. Taking control of your energy, taking control of your perspective, not being on autopilot, not being reactive, but instead trying to see the deeper meaning in all things is going to get you so far. What can I recommend for you for crystals for this energy? I would say normally this is going to depend on your personal astrology and things like that. So if you want a personal recommendation, also comment below and let me know. It's like, I get so excited about talking about crystals. Generally, I love celestite for this energy, any type of moonstone. So rainbow moonstone, black moonstone, peach moonstone, any of that is going to be great here. Labradorite. Yeah, anything with a little bit of flash or a little bit of magic is going to be beautiful here. So that's it for me for today, you guys. I hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for watching. Happy full moon in Capricorn. I hope you enjoy this energy. I hope you utilize this energy, and let me know how you're feeling in the days leading up and in the days after, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.